Donald Trump, 5 minutes ago, tweeted this. Campaigning to win the Electoral College is much more difficult and sophisticated than the popular vote. Hillary focused on the wrong states. Newt Gingrich is former Speaker of the House. He's also been an advisor to the incoming President of the United States. So, Newt, what's Donald Trump talking about?
Look, this is the football season. A team can have more yards and lose the game. What matters is how many points you put on the board. The Electoral College is the points. Donald Trump understood. Ironically, the amateur understood the Electoral College mattered. The so-called professional forgot the Electoral College mattered, and that's what mattered. I mean, Trump actually carried in the 49 states outside of California, he had a 1.2 million vote majority. He got killed in California because we didn't campaign there. The Democrats had 2 people running for the U.S. Senate the way California law works, no Republican running for the U.S. Senate. So we got beaten badly in the biggest state. Didn't matter. That's not how you pick the presidency. Trump's now going to be president. She's not going to be president. That's called winning the game. Well,
there you go. But you know, if you've been watching some of the lefty channels, all they talk about is Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. She beat him by 2 million people. Sure. As if that matters. It doesn't matter. They've got to get used to the idea he is the president. Now let's move on.
They're not going to get used to the idea because he is, from their standpoint, horrifying. He stands for free enterprise. He stands for private sector jobs. He stands for defending America. I mean, there are a whole number of things where if you're a real left-winger, you look at Trump and you think, oh, my God, he can't be the next president. They live in a delusional world. That's why they lost the election. They decided to stay with the delusion.
Well, it's interesting. When Donald Trump takes over, it's pretty, I think you would agree, there's a pretty good chance that he's going to undo a lot of the executive orders that Barack Obama signed during the last couple of years. The current president sat down with NPR's Morning Edition for an interview, and it's interesting, Newt. Listen to this, because the president is warning Trump, don't rely on executive orders like he did. Watch.
Should President-elect Trump, once he's inaugurated, use his executive powers in the same way that you have?
My suggestion to the President-elect is, going through the legislative process is always better, in part because it's harder to undo.
Well, it sounds like he knows that some of his stuff is going to get undone come January 21st, but still for him to say, yeah, go through Congress, I don't remember him actually doing that much.
Look, what you're watching is a man who realizes all of a sudden that like 90% of his legacy is going to disappear. Because he didn't do the hard work of passing legislation. He didn't reach out to work with the other side, which, by the way, is also a warning to Trump. Trump needs a bipartisan Trump majority that actually passes legislation in the House and Senate. It can't be narrowly Republican. He doesn't want to repeat the Obama mistake. But you watch, starting the opening day when Trump begins to repeal all these executive orders, it's going to be like one of those balloons that deflates. I mean, the Obama legacy is going to do this and down to about a core of 10 or 15% of what he originally did. The rest is all going to disappear within a year.
Of course, that's with executive powers, but the big question is how much is Donald Trump going to be able to get done in Congress relies in some measure on the number of Democrats who are actually interested in getting something done and are willing to extend a hand of bipartisanship across the aisle. Right now, Newt, going in the week before Christmas, does it look like Democrats are in the bipartisan mood, or they're going to say, heck no, anything he's for, I'm against?
Oh, I think they're going to split into 3 groups. You're going to have the hard left, the Elizabeth Warren, the people who are crazy and out of touch with the world. They're not going to support anybody, and they're going to be hostile and bitter and nasty. You're going to have a partisan group. Schumer will be a good example. Pelosi's another example. They're going to be tough-minded. They're going to fight, although Schumer is a much better deal maker than Pelosi. But then you're going to have a lot of individual Democrats who are going to say, wait a second, I don't want to deal with 8 years of yelling no. You're going to do an infrastructure bill? I'd like to be part of it. You're going to do a big tax bill? I'd like to be part of it. You want to try to fix education? Hey, my neighborhood needs help. Trump is a pretty good deal maker. His book, The Art of the Deal, is very revealing. And I think you're going to see Trump reach out to a lot of people. I suspect he's going to sit down with the Black caucus. He'll sit down with the Hispanic caucus. He's going to say, hey, Can't we do better than 4,000 people being shot in Chicago?
Yeah.
Now, it's a pretty low standard to try to go down from 4,000 people being shot in 1 year, but he at least cares. And I think you're going to see that again and again. I think Dr. Carson is going to reach out in ways people are not used to. I just think piece by piece, there's a Trump majority which is 30 or 40 votes bigger than the Republican majority in the House, and 8 or 10 votes bigger. Remember also in the Senate, remember, you got 25 Democrats, counting the 2 independents who vote with them, 25 Democrats up for re-election in 2018. They're going to look home to their grassroots, and if their grassroots is going to rallies with Donald Trump, and they're seeing 20 and 30,000 people show up, they're going to say, well, maybe we can find ways to work together.
Right. Great analysis. Nobody better than former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. Newt, thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas next week.
Merry Christmas.
Indeed.